Hello, and welcome to this evening's quiet journey. I'm so happy you've joined us here, where the edges of the world soften and imagination takes gentle flight. Tonight, we'll step into a realm where dreams and reality weave together like starlight through an open window, a place where curiosity lingers in the air like the scent of parchment and oil paints. This is the workshop of Leonardo da Vinci, alive with whispers of unfinished wonders. Here, sketches breathe with hidden life, and the night itself hums with possibility. As you settle in, let your thoughts drift like ink in water, soft and unhurried. Feel the warmth of candlelight against your skin, the hush of a world wrapped in midnight blue. And when you're ready, we'll slip into the story where genius dances with dreams and the sky is no limit at all. In the depths of a Tuscan night, when the world has surrendered to sleep and the candles have burned low, there exists a realm between waking and dreaming where genius touches the infinite. The workshop of Leonardo da Vinci breathes quietly in the darkness, its walls lined with sketches of impossible machines and half-finished paintings that seem to glow with their own inner light. The maestro himself sits before a tall window, his long silver hair catching the faint starlight. His weathered hands, stained with pigments and ink, rest gently upon a leather-bound journal filled with backward script and delicate drawings. Outside, the countryside rolls away in gentle waves of shadow and moonbeam, olive groves whispering ancient secrets to the night wind. Leonardo's eyes drift closed, not in exhaustion but in that sacred space where inspiration dwells. The boundary between his conscious mind and the vast ocean of creativity begins to blur, like watercolors bleeding into one another on wet paper. His breathing deepens, and in that rhythm, the first stirrings of vision begin to take shape. A warmth spreads through his chest, as if his heart has become a small sun, radiating golden light through his being. This light begins to lift him, not physically, but in the way that dreams lift us beyond the constraints of flesh and bone. He finds himself floating in a space between earth and sky, where the laws of gravity hold no dominion and the impossible becomes beautifully inevitable. Below him spreads a landscape that exists nowhere on any map, yet feels more real than the stone floors of his workshop. Rolling hills merge seamlessly into gentle clouds, their surfaces gleaming like polished marble in the ethereal light. Rivers of liquid silver wind through this dreamscape, reflecting not the sky above, but pure possibility itself. In this place of infinite potential, Leonardo encounters his first vision. A great bird appears before him, not flesh and feather, but constructed of golden light and crystalline understanding. Its wings span impossible distances, each movement creating ripples in the fabric of reality itself. As he watches, transfixed, the bird's form begins to change, transforming into geometric patterns and mathematical equations that dance in the air like living calligraphy. The equations speak to him in a language older than words, revealing the secrets of lift and thrust, the hidden music of aerodynamics. He sees how air moves around surfaces, how it creates cushions of support and streams of resistance. The knowledge flows into him like warm honey, sweet and nourishing, filling spaces in his understanding he hadn't even known were empty. As the bird equations dissolve into motes of light, Leonardo finds himself standing in a vast library that exists only in dreams. The shelves stretch infinitely upward, filled not with books but with glowing orbs of pure knowledge. Each orb contains the essence of discovery, waiting to be touched and understood. Some pulse with the deep blue of ocean depths, others shimmer with the green of growing things, and still others burn with the orange-red of sunset skies. He reaches out to touch a sphere of soft amber light, and instantly his mind fills with visions of flying machines, not the crude attempts of his earthly sketches, but perfect vessels of flight that move with the grace of swallows and the power of eagles. He sees men and women soaring over landscapes of impossible beauty, their faces radiant with the joy of freedom, their craft singing harmoniously with the wind. These machines are not made of wood and rope and canvas, but of dreams crystallized into form. Their wings pulse with bioluminescent veins, their bodies curve with the elegant mathematics of nautilus shells. They respond not to crude mechanical controls, but to the thoughts and intentions of their pilots, becoming extensions of human will and desire. In his vision, Leonardo watches a young woman climb into one of these dream craft. Her face is serene, touched with the same expression he has spent years trying to capture in his paintings, that enigmatic smile that speaks of secrets known only to the heart. As she takes to the air, her machine transforms, its wings becoming translucent, its form shifting like liquid mercury in response to wind currents and thermal updrafts. The scene shifts and flows, and Leonardo finds himself in his own studio, but transformed by dream logic into something far grander. The walls stretch upward into misty heights, lined with frescoes that move and breathe with painted life. His easels hold canvases that shimmer with wet paint that never dries, colors that continue to blend and evolve even as he watches. On one canvas, he sees the portrait of a woman whose eyes follow his movements with gentle intelligence. But as he looks closer, he realizes that her gaze is not fixed upon him, but upon something beyond him, something infinitely distant and beautiful. Her smile deepens, and suddenly he understands Minos. She is looking at the same landscape of dreams that he now inhabits, seeing the same visions of flight and freedom. The painted woman begins to speak, her voice like music heard across still water. She tells him of the connection between all creative acts, how every stroke of the brush is related to every equation of flight, how every color mixed on the palette corresponds to a law of physics waiting to be discovered. Beauty and function are not separate things, she explains, but different faces of the same eternal truth. As her words fade, Leonardo feels himself being drawn toward a great spiral staircase that appears in the center of his dream studio. The stairs are carved from what appears to be solid cloud, firm beneath his feet, yet glowing with internal light. As he ascends, he passes windows that look out onto different realms of possibility. Through one window, he sees a future where the skies are filled with his flying machines, evolved beyond his wildest imaginings. Through another, he glimpses painting techniques that won't be discovered for centuries, ways of capturing light and shadow that make his current methods seem like child's finger painting. Each window shows him a different facet of the infinite jewel of human creativity. At the top of the stairs, he finds himself in a circular chamber open to the stars. But these are not the familiar constellations of his earthly nights. These stars pulse with colors beyond the normal spectrum, and their light carries information, inspiration, the raw material of invention itself. As the starlight touches his skin, he feels it being absorbed, becoming part of his very essence. In the center of the chamber stands an easel holding a blank canvas, and beside it, a table covered with brushes and pigments that glow with their own inner fire. But there are also tools he has never seen before, instruments for measuring the weight of dreams, calipers for calculating the dimensions of imagination, protractors for determining the angles of inspiration. As he approaches the easel, Leonardo realizes that this is the source from which all his earthly creations flow. Every sketch, every painting, every invention is but a shadow of what can be created here, in this space where thought becomes reality without the burden of physical limitation. He picks up a brush, marvels at how it seems to extend his very being, how it knows his intentions before he does. The pigments call to him, whispering of colors that have no names, hues that exist only in the spaces between sleeping and waking. With his first stroke across the canvas, the chamber fills with the sound of wings, thousands upon thousands of wings, as if every bird that has ever dreamed of soaring has been given voice. The painting that emerges is unlike anything he has ever created. It shows a figure in flight, but whether it is human or angel, machine or living creature, is impossible to determine. The figure embodies the very essence of transcendence, of rising above the limitations that bind earthbound souls. Its wings are simultaneously feathered and mechanical, beautiful and functional, organic and engineered. As he paints, Leonardo becomes aware that he is not alone. Other figures move through the chamber like gentle ghosts, artists and inventors from across time, all drawing from the same eternal well of inspiration. They nod to him in recognition, understanding that passes beyond words. Here, in this place that exists outside of time, all creative souls are one. All discoveries are shared. All beauty belongs to everyone and no one. The painting continues to evolve under his brush, but now he realizes that he is not so much creating as discovering. The image was always there, waiting to be revealed, like a sculpture hidden within a block of marble. Each stroke simply removes another layer of the impossible, revealing more of the eternal truth beneath. Hours pass, or perhaps centuries minors. In this place, time moves like honey, sweet and slow and golden. As the painting nears completion, Leonardo feels a gentle tugging, a call back to the world of flesh and stone and finite possibility. But he is not sad to leave, for he knows that this place will always be here, waiting for him when sleep or meditation or the simple act of looking at the stars with wonder opens the doorway once again. As the vision begins to fade, the painted figure on the canvas turns toward him and smiles, not with lips, for it is beyond such simple anatomy, but with its entire being. In that smile, Leonardo sees the reflection of every student who will one day understand flight, every artist who will discover new ways to capture the light, every dreamer who will look up at the sky and refuse to accept that humans are forever bound to the earth. The chamber dissolves around him like morning mist, and he finds himself back in his workshop. The candle beside him burned nearly to nothing. His journal lies open before him, filled with sketches he doesn't remember making, benigns for flying machines that incorporate principles he has never studied, techniques for mixing colors that seem to capture not just appearance but emotion itself. Outside, the first pale light of dawn touches the horizon, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold. Leonardo stretches, his joints protesting the night-long vigil, but his spirit soaring with the gift of dreams made manifest. He closes his journal gently, knowing that when he opens it again in daylight, the sketches will serve as bridges between the realm of pure possibility and the world where wood and canvas and human hands must suffice to express the inexpressible. In the growing light, he can hear the village beginning to wake. Roosters calling, doors opening, the sound of water being drawn from wells. Soon his assistants will arrive, eager to continue work on the dozen projects that fill his workshop. But for now, in these precious moments between dream and waking, Leonardo holds the memory of flight close to his heart, feeling it pulse there like a second heartbeat, a rhythm that will guide his hands and inspire his vision until that final day when he himself takes wing and soars beyond the boundaries of earthly creation into whatever wonders wait beyond the stars. The last of the candle flame gutters and dies, but the workshop is no longer dark. The dawn light reveals walls covered with sketches of birds and angels, machines and dreams, all waiting patiently for the hands of genius to give them form in the waking world. And in that light, if you looked carefully, you might see that some of the painted eyes seem to hold just a trace of that otherworldly wisdom, that secret smile that speaks of journeys taken in dreams and knowledge gathered in the spaces between heartbeats.